Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be diving into a shocking and concerning development in Kenya, where allegations of abductions and disappearances are making headlines. Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and several opposition leaders have voiced their outrage over what they are calling a disturbing increase in government-led abductions of online critics. This issue has sparked widespread debates about human rights, rule of law, and freedom of expression. Let's break it all down. In a recent outburst, former Kenyan Prime Minister Raila Odinga berated the Kenyan government for increasing its use of abductions to silence online critics. Speaking during a Christmas service at St. Peter's Church in Bondo, Siaya County, Odinga described the practice as primitive and backward. He said he was deeply concerned about the wave of disappearances, particularly of social media users who have been critical of President William Ruto. The former Prime Minister, while emphasizing the rule of law, said no one should be abducted or detained without due process. Odinga's comments were in response to growing reports of people being taken away by unidentified security personnel, sometimes without any explanation. Several of the families have been left in distress as their loved ones disappear and are held incommunicado for a long time. This resorting to abductions is absolutely intolerable, said Odinga, who linked it to authoritarian regimes. He asked the government to immediately cease from these practices, respect human rights and ensure that all Kenyans are protected. Other opposition leaders, including Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, also had sentiments warning that the kidnappings were attracting international attention. Kalonzo threatened to take the matter to global platforms, highlighting that such actions could harm Kenya's standing with its international development partners. He argued that resorting to violence and intimidation would not resolve the country's challenges and that Kenyans would continue to stand firm in their opposition to bad governance. Accusations have it that the government has resorted to abductions in targeting individuals critical of President Ruto online. Critics of this high-handed measure argue that this is done to muzzle free expression and dissent. Opposition leaders called for due process, saying suspects in crimes should be arrested and brought before the courts, not abduction. The recent wave of abductions in the country has seriously placed under question human rights and the rule of law. And the politicians, and in fact all other citizens, joined the chorus against those practices of accountability to higher powers. Respect of constitutional rights has increasingly resounded, with the debate already swelling into arguments as most wondered what move the government will make to take up calls for justice and change.
This year has been very challenging to the people of Kenya. You've had serious economic problems. You've had challenges, you've had demonstrations. Lives have been lost in the course of this year. Innocent lives. But we have also seen something that we want to see end with this year. The issue of abductions of innocent people. This is a primitive thing. And it is something that is very strange. You cannot live in a country where people disappear or people are abducted for no other reason and kept incommunicado for a long time. That shows that there is no government. The government must take this matter seriously. And this thing must end completely. People have been abducted. Families have been left in pain. Many parents have been crying. Our child was abducted the other day and by some people who were uniformed, and you have never seen this child up to now. These some of the things are very strange. So I want to urge the government to ensure that this matter ends completely this year. We want a safe and secure country. We want a safe and secure country. Gone were those days when they used to arrest you and take you to Nyayo House. But this then you're being taken to Nyayo House, which is a government institution. These days you're being taken to unknown places. We don't know, we don't want these kind of primitive things to happen in our country. It's primitive and it's unacceptable completely. So with those many remarks, I want to wish each and every Kenyan families all the best. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year 2025. Thank you.